What are some of your thoughts to these big stories? Jeffrey joins me now for a review of the big stories.
Well,
hello again, Jeffrey.
Yes, good morning, Bukola. Of course, there's a lot of people are talking about our responsibilities to run through all of them as quickly as possible. So we will start with that event that happened yesterday when the chairman and CEO of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, made some complaint. He says that nobody can create jobs with an interest rate of 30%, although the interest rate is not up to 30 yet. At least for now. So perhaps it's sending a message that the CBN should hold rates or maybe reduce rates because they are reining on inflation. And he said he's not an economist, by the way, but he did a comparison between our economy and those who are using interest rates to taper inflation, that the dynamics are not necessarily the same in his view. And he's saying if you continue like this, you'll be getting the hot money, what we call the FPIs, because we saw the capital importation numbers coming in from the MBS as well. There's been an increase, appreciation of 200% or so. So he's saying, look, perhaps you can get all the hot money, but the local industries will suffer and jobs will not be created. But this is the second complaint he's making since he started this refinery. The first one was the fact that they were saying, you're not giving me crude to refine. And there's a lot of undertone to all of that. It's not for today's conversation.
But is the CBN listening? In the last 1 year during its MPC meetings, there has been consistent increase in monetary policy, in interest rate rather. So it appears as if it doesn't matter what's happening at the local level. This policy approach to running the economy remains the same.
So at the end of the day, so I guess what he's trying to say is that, look, if you peg it at 26, the banks are going to add their, margin, and it's going to be maybe 30 or 30 something and all of that. So that is the argument he's making. Well, let's see what you are saying. Brian Jude says he knows the impact of 30% interest rate on any business. No business can survive at this rate. CBN has been increasing rates since 2015. Okay, I want to be sure. Yet it has not curbed inflation. Until we become a productive nation, we can't stop this free fall.
Absolutely. And this next one is from OG Nazti, and they say, or he says, sir, high interest rates are used to mop up the extra cash in the system used to tackle inflation. Don't worry. When inflation balances well, they return the interest rate to normal. So we have many economists now. So I don't understand these economics.
It depends on how you want to define what is driving it. Is this cost push? Is it demand pull? Is it base money supply, which we had under the administration? So Tawo Yedele say he believes it's more of cost push. So for all the elements. So it's not as if so much money chasing fewer goods. It's the factors, the supply end that is a problem. So if you now convolute the supply end with more interest, you're going to trickle, it's going to trickle down and affect the entire system. Rashid _29 said high interest rate discourages investment, which in turn can lead to increased unemployment. That's economics 101. However, Nigerian government seems willing to do everything except two things: strictly follow the rule of law and cut government spending across board.
Ikuku Nenye says 30% is ridiculously high. They will handicap investors.
Godwin Robinson says that's at Odogu GNR, rising interest rates in Nigeria are not just affecting businesses, they're suffocating them and leading to increased poverty. Even Dangote, a major player in the business world, is feeling the pressure. So it's what I call sometimes that's catch-22 situation, choosing from two bad options. If you increase rate, you are going to get FPIs, the hot money coming in, because we need that FX creation. We need dollars. We are floated our naira, so we need. But the other part argument is we're not producing enough to be able to meet our mates in the FX market. And
if Dangote, a major player, has something to say about it, then that means that, the impact is really, traversing even the local industries to the big players in the industry. But let's move away from that talking point now. But this still has to do with the economy, and it's about the pushback by the NNPCG CEO yesterday on those who are, this is a departure from that now. The declaration of a state of emergency on crude oil production, which is also our talking point. And this first reaction is from Abba Audu Benishke, who says, this move by NNPC Limited is a bold step towards revolutionizing Nigeria's oil and gas industry. Declaring a state of emergency on crude oil production and collaborating with industry players to reduce production costs is a laudable initiative that will yield positive results.
All right, Gabriel Bolate, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Please, what does this mean? Same Melikari was there when our daily output was less than 1 million barrels, when oil itself was very rampant and different dates for our refineries' operational availability. So criticizing the shifting timelines of the refineries. Nicola, you have the next one.
Ibrahim Ali Yako is the next commentator here, and he says all the issues are about refineries will work, and some say it will not work. The same thing with Dangote refinery, and there are some hidden forces that tackle the progress of oil sector.
Okay, so let's put this in perspective. They have maintained time and again. We're happy they are doing this emergency, but let's read the next one before I say what I want to say. Adams Odyssey says, what emergency have we again? Dangote just acknowledged opening a refining oil plant. That's what you call it. Maybe NNPC should learn from the sharks. Nigeria have plants already. Revitalize them. I guess that's what we wanted to say. And stop soaring the people with decadent governance today. That's what he's trying to say. So at the end of the day, let's remind the people again that according to the NNPC, even if all the refineries are working, it doesn't necessarily mean that fuel may be cheaper altogether. They say they want to do what we call energy security. So in case there's a war, anything anywhere in the world, according to Section 109 of the PIA, we'll get our supplies for be able to produce for ourselves before we even start selling to others at the end of the day.
Jeffrey, another question that should follow, and I'll ask it relentlessly, is that justifiable? Should we accept it?
I don't
just
know.
Because, you know, the position presented by the company managing Nigeria's oil is that what we can guarantee is energy security.
I think the next one has to do with oil again, that petrol price hits 937 naira per liter in Jigawa State, according to the MBS. So, Ajuba 101 says, someone please tell me this is totally untrue. It's not only be disappointing for me if we put our people in such position. They're very unpatriotic of any leadership. In a country where we have the natural resources and the biggest refinery, it should be sold for, as your view, 250 naira per liter.
You know, because all of the other variables are taking out. All of the other variables, as far as importation is concerned, are taking out. So when we're told repeatedly that, you know, prices will not necessarily come down, it doesn't sound justifiable yet again. But this next one is from the prodigal one, who says, they should share, you know, in local balance, not increase the retail price from the fuel stations. We keep saying they should convert all this budget for palliatives to subsidize fuel.
I think our first problem, let's increase production first. Play by True says a staggering 937 naira per liter of petrol in Jigawa. This calls for a critical look at the energy policies and consumer impact. Time for change. And
this last one on this talking point, okay, we'll move on to the next talking point now, which is on the member of House of Representatives, Cyril Hart, walking out on plenary on Tuesday after accusing the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, of ignoring first-timers during debates. And the first reaction is from K. Jonathan, who says, Honorable Cyril is right. The Deputy Speaker should be honest to acknowledge that if new members are sidelined, the entire constituent members are denied the right to be heard through their representatives. Enough of all these padi-padi, and that's fraternity, I believe.
Well, Theophilus Lawrence says, all members are representing a constituency in the Federation, therefore should be given equal privilege to air out their concern.
Well, I think it's a culture thing, this ranking thing, and not just in the House of Representatives.
No, it has nothing to do with ranking. If somebody has to raise his hands, you have to acknowledge the
I'm just saying that, you know, perhaps it's just it's a culture thing that needs to be addressed. Well, this one is from Damian Adegoki, who says, it is normal occurrence in the House. There are floor members, returning members, ranking returning members, senior ranking returning members, and senior ranking emeritus members.
All right,
maybe we should get them badges, Jeffrey.
I don't know. It's an in-house thing that they can sort out, but if his allegation is true, then it has to be checked. They are representing constituency, and every constituency is equal. No one is higher than the other. It has nothing to do with the rank of the senator or the House of Rep members, but it's something I think they can sort out. I
wouldn't be happy, for instance, if my representative is a first-timer and they're not giving a voice at the House of Representatives. That's my voice being denied. All
right, a bill seeking the creation of a TT state in the Southeast geopolitical zone was read for the first time on the floor of the House. So these are your reactions. Certified MIC, creation of a new state is a good idea because it will foster employment or quicker development, but these have not been done in 36 states we have. Well, maybe sad for this hunger now to create state, no be our problem. Okay, more like saying this is not our priority right now.
Right now. And this next one is from Chibuzo Oyenue, who says, we do not need creation of more states. Rather, the existing states should be shrinked into regional governments. This will reduce cost of governance and healthy competition. I believe encourage healthy competition amongst regions.
Ugu Collins said, creating more states brings the government and its benefits closer to the people. But the question is, how many will reach the masses?
And lastly, Adewale Damilari says, I support the bill. Southeast should have 6 states too.
Yes, the argument about equity. I had a conversation with the people that are driving it yesterday about equity. Equity is non-debatable. Viability is the issue. So the Northwest has 7. Others have 6. Southeast is the only region that has 5. So they are pushing for equity.
Very soon, those that have 6 will begin to push for equity to have 7 to balance with the...
So at the end of the day, there's a lot of conversation. There's a Nyoma state calling for one, Olu state, and then a TT state. But let's talk about Ogun State roads that you've been talking about. The state of roads in Ogun State. If you go to that Alagbole, I think Akuti, some part of, I call it the Lagos end of Ogun. The government has to do something about those ends, especially with roads and traffic management. Blank or Balde _art says, on the Ogun State road issue, every road is super bad. This is this morning, I think that's what you wanted to say.
Well, Alaji says people spoke up about Third Mainland Bridge on how it was becoming a death trap, and it was fixed. But speaking up about the deplorable condition of the roads in Ogun State is coordinated attack against the governor. Well, that not necessarily is an attack. If the roads are bad, the roads are bad. And there's evidence.
If the roads are good, they are good.
Good, exactly.
So maybe it depends, wherever you live, just let us know. So we'll posit it properly and say, that's why we said some part of the Lagos end of Ogun State. That's how I put it. King Stifler, Alagbole, Akute, Ajuwon, Lambe, Bukola, you hear me pronounce
Agbado down to
Ijoko is an eyesore. So they're saying it. The bad roads have successfully created stagnation of development for the people living in these highlighted areas. So this is facts now for this individual. Bukola, you have the next one.
And this next one is from Damilola, who says, these people abandoned a bridge since 2014 till today. I passed through Akute last week. I was really disappointed more than 10 years later. So this person is saying 10 years before,
I think I know that
was the state of the bridge. And 10 years after, the bridge remains the same.
I think I know. I don't. The last time I went for a wedding around Akute, I saw that bridge just there. I don't know what is the issue.
No, the roads in Ogun State really beg attention. If you go to Ofada as well.
So, Your Excellency, Prince Dakwa Abiodun. It's up to you now to respond.
This is a clarion call from every road user in Ogun State and those in the Lagos end who happen to commute to those roads as well. The roads need some attention.
Lawal, do I have the next one or Bukola, you're the one?
I think you do, Jeffrey.
Okay, Lawal Babatu says, I have folks who have moved back to Lagos simply because of the deplorable state of roads in their area.
And this last one is from Brian, who says, I schooled in Ota for a year and had the opportunity to take a school trip some years back. I can confirm the roads were some of the worst I have ever seen. And I've been to Ibadan, Benin, and Ondo, aside Lagos. And someone was saying yesterday also that the roads in Ilaro, Ogun State, are just as deplorable and that they spent hours in traffic on that route. So, Your Excellency, this is a clarion call to you for those roads to get some attention. And that's it for...
So this is literally calling out the governor to say, Your Excellency, you get to work. Maybe if you've not been to these roads, and maybe advisors are saying, don't worry, please go and visit the road. See for yourself and do something as quickly as possible so that this doesn't trend anymore.
All right, so that's it on the reactions, your reactions to some of these stories, but keep them coming. We just might have time during the program to take some of them as well. But we're starting off with the economy, reviewing specifically the administration's reconstruction and household support program. So it promises to be an insightful conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Absolutely.